majority of Americans, all around the world, evolution is accepted as a theory, as a fact. And here in America, the majority of Americans do not accept evolution. Why is that?
Well, I think there are a couple of reasons. We've had presidents who denied that science mattered, and now we have one who does think science matters, so that helps. If you look at President Obama's Audacity of Hope, he discusses this issue in a very candid way, so I suggest you look at that book and his discussion of science and faith and their compatibility. So I think there's that problem with political leadership. There's bad science instruction and even attempts to limit over the 20th century into the 21st century the ability of biology and other science instructors even to talk about this issue, and in terms of textbooks and frankly censorship of textbooks or dumbing down, watering down of textbooks. There's a lack of classes in K through 12 that would quite clearly deal with this. Philosophy and religious studies are highly appropriate in high school. I don't see why they're not taught there, other than there'd be more jobs for people like us to teach, rather than just at the college or university level. But I think there's genuinely a fear that evolutionary theory is this very religious country. Let's admit it. And there's a genuine fear that Darwin is speaking about. That's why the reference to Malthus, I think, is somewhat misdirected. There's a difference between Darwin's thinking about human societies and human evolution and the idea of the survival of the fittest, or I think better thought of as the fitter, within the natural world. Human societies, Darwin was quite confident of, couldn't survive if there weren't compassion, if there weren't a moral sense that cared for the weaker. So there's this whole history going back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries of what we call social Darwinism, that then became an influence on the eugenics movement of the early 20th century, and as we know, experiments on African Americans, the Tuskegee experiments, really nasty racist stuff, and the Nazis used Darwin in a way that has nothing to do with Darwin's own views. So I think there's a religious fear, there's misuse of Darwin that's gone on, and I think that can all be cleared up if you have good education, good media, and good political leadership that calms people down and assures them that religion and science are compatible, they are not, need not be threats to each other.